Yo everyone, Trunks here, and I want you all to do me a quick favor and subscribe to Silverpone. You won't be sorry. Well, what are you waiting for? Hit that subscribe button. Anyways, I've got some training to go do. Yo, Goten!
What's up everyone, Silverpone here, and today I want to talk about how long can Xenoverse 2 truly last. And before beginning the video, I do want to say that Xenoverse 2 is a great game to me. I always will think it's a great game, but with that being said, I do see areas where the game can be improved, but let's just look at it non-biasedly, or try to, which I think I did a good job of doing that in this video, so let's just begin. So, how long can Xenoverse 2 truly last? Let's begin by looking at the characters first. So, the characters can be added over and over in this game, so they won't have to worry about incorporating new characters ever. If they wanted to make this game last even longer than it is now, they could always just port characters into the game. And some people even speculate that some of the characters have been ported over from other games like Xenoverse 3, and that would probably be the only case because, I mean, I don't think they use models from Kakarot and Sparking Zero in Xenoverse, but they could, potentially, if they wanted to. I mean, they incorporate models from Legends into Xenoverse 2 via mods and whatnot, so yeah. Breakers might also do this too with Xenoverse 2 models, so it's definitely possible that they have new characters in the works. Well, I mean, they already do have new characters in the works. We have the Daima DLC, you know, Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta coming and whatnot. So they're still adding characters, and we still have the Future Saga DLC that's going to bring more characters into the game. So we don't have to worry about on that front. Longevity wise, the characters probably can always be added if they wanted to go that route. And, you know, like I said, with the new characters being ported over from a potential Xenoverse 3, or even if they're just polishing them up, they look great. They look like the best they've ever looked in the game. I mean, the Broly skin that we got, the unrestrained Broly Super Saiyan skin, I mean, he looks phenomenal. Like, he looks great. So yeah, characters, not really a concern. Next is probably going to have to be the story missions and parallel quests, and you can even probably include the raid quests if you wanted to. Parallel quests and story missions and raid quests could continue to be added to the game, like the characters. But the question is, how repetitive will it be? Will it be a few constantly being added to the game with few, you know, always just powering up someone for a final showdown? Or can they incorporate more methods to keep the game fresh? I personally think incorporating new mechanics this late into Xenoverse 2 would be completely out of the norm, but can be possible. But I still think it's very unlikely. And you can look at other creators that enjoy Xenoverse 2 as well, and they understand this too, which is why Xenoverse 2, as you know, Xenoverse 2 content as a whole is a tad bit stale. Many creators also implement their own mechanics and methods into Xenoverse 2 to make it more enjoyable for their audience, which is like, you know, mods and things of that nature. Even like, you know, the three idiots making their videos and just doing like raid battles with each other and stuff, like just making things different that the game doesn't have to just get more enjoyment out of it at the end of the day. Now, I think all these creators love Xenoverse 2 as much as you or I, but the fact is that the content is like a little bit stale at this point. Again, that doesn't mean that the game is bad, it just means that it's been going on for a long time. It's old. It's almost 10 years old at this point. The game is just trying to stay relevant among modern Dragon Ball games, which may be working for now, but it won't always be the case, especially with future consoles and Dragon Ball games evolving and releasing as time goes on. So yeah, story, they probably can incorporate new methods into the story if they wanted to. Like, we have different quests where you have to go around and save survivors. I have a whole video talking about if they incorporate breakers into Xenoverse 3. That would probably help with an aspect of that, you know, rescuing people in quests and whatnot, and story missions, instead of it just being an all-out brawl every time. We even have missions where we go and, you know, find Dragon Balls and stuff around the maps. So they could just use ideas like that in a new game. Or, like I said, if they wanted to do it in Xenoverse 2, it's possible, but at that point they'd be wasting resources in Xenoverse 2 that they could use for an entirely different game to just make it better. Anyways, so story probably could, longevity wise for story missions and whatnot and parallel quests probably isn't long unless it's reworked. I don't think that it's already repetitive as it is. I'm pretty sure everyone agrees that. Like I said, that's why you see all the mods and creators doing different things instead of just doing parallel quests and story missions all the time. Now, they do play story missions on their channels and stuff. You do see people doing that, but it's only when DLC comes out. Anyways, let's go forward and look at the combat. The combat, among other things, in my opinion, is what makes Xenoverse so fun in the first place. Added with the team play elements of the game, it just makes for an overall fun experience in general. With that being said, I'm sure that many can agree the game's combat is good, but over time does get a little bit repetitive, and people can possibly see where they could have some improvements be made. However, making any major combat changes this late in the game's lifespan might not be the best move, when they could direct their focus and effort on an entirely different game, like I said in the last point with the story missions and parallel quests. As I said before, the combat is very fun and addicting at times, but as time goes on, I'm sure more and more players are able to see how the combat feels a bit dated. Not to say bad, again, but players can see where some improvements could be made, or even just an overhaul to give it that more modern feel. Kind of like Sparking Zero, or I don't know. But I'm sure you guys could see where improvements could be made. Maybe more cutscenes, maybe some intros in the battles and whatnot, just stuff like that to make it feel more modern. I feel that this point is also a 50-50 though, because it is a main aspect of the game, which makes Xenoverse 2. So, the whole reason that people do play Xenoverse 2 and it still has a dedicated fan base is mainly because of the combat and CAC elements of the game. So yeah. But let me know what you think down below about this point. Like I said, I'm 50-50 on it, but let me know what you think down below. Anyways, in conclusion, I've also done videos on how the maps could improve for potential Xenoverse 3, because like I mentioned in my last point, overhauling Xenoverse 2 this late in the game just seems a bit unreasonable, and they could focus on an entirely different new game, being Xenoverse 3 or the next Xenoverse in the franchise. A potential Xenoverse 3 would hopefully contain new characters, story, combat, map, plus a bunch of other enhancements making it capable of being that modern game that Xenoverse needs. A game capable of being updated for years in the future, or even just being built upon for years going into the future. So essentially, if Xenoverse 3 were to come out, they could always, they could just make it be built to be updated in the future. That might sound kind of weird because you're like, oh, just give us a completed game. This day and age, there's always going to be microtransactions in games. There's going to be DLC. So if a Xenoverse 3 does come out, look at Sparking Zero, it has DLC. Xenoverse 3 is going to have DLC inside of the game. That's just a given. So if you want the game to be, played for years, which a potential Xenoverse 3 or whatever Xenoverse comes out in the future, they're going to want that game to be milked, just like Xenoverse 2, but they can go into that game already have setting it up to be that way. Much better than Xenoverse 2 had, because I don't think that they really planned for Xenoverse 2 to go on as long as it has. But, I digress. With that being said though, check out my other Xenoverse 3 videos. I'm sure you'll like those. If you like this video, I also have more videos planned for both Xenoverse 2 and 3 going forward. So I hope you guys check out those videos too. Let me know your thoughts down below. And again, Xenoverse 2 is a great game, to me at least, but to enjoy something is to also see its flaws as well. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel, like the video, hit the notification bell if you want to, and thank you guys for watching. And let me know your thoughts down below. This video was a little bit shaky, but I hope you guys enjoyed it. Peace.